Where in your world, like your actual like life, with so many things going on, where do you have that it's not quite, well, it's just parallel to everything that you're doing in business. Where is that happening? And how can you share that with your people? Because I will tell you right now, that's your persona. So it's that time again. Grab your legend pack, crank that speaker to 11. Welcome to Legend. For those of you who I've not yet met in person, my name is Amber Griffiths, and I'm a maker of legends, like for reals. I'm also a brand strategist, and I focus primarily on persona, on who you really truly are. I've always been really fascinated with people and their stories and how it all relates. There, I'm watching my friends, I'm watching my networking friends, different levels of colleagues and friends and family, and there's so much going on in the world at large. There's so much going on in their world, in their four walls, in their home. Sometimes it's hard to know exactly where to focus to make the biggest impact, to make the best use of your time, your energy, your brain power, especially as humans who are looking after and caring for other humans. It can be a lot for the humans who are taking care of animals, for taking care of people. There's a lot going on right now. And from those of you who I've spoken to, and for me personally, sometimes it's not just a lot, it's too much. It just gets to be, um, I'm full, right? You spend the day, you're doing all the things, taking care of all the things, and thinking about all the things and planning for all the things. And finally, you're just like, I'm full. Today, it's just full. So last week, after piles and piles of this, we decided to take a mental health day. And we packed up the fam, and we're here in Utah, which means 20 to 45 minutes, and you get the most beautiful, beautiful mountain hikes. So it had been about a month since I'd been hiking, since we'd been in Colorado and been hiking all around there. And there, it was like a 7 mile hike in Colorado, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was absolutely gorgeous. In fact, I was able to do that 7 mile hike without stress, without overheating. More to the point, I completed that 7 mile hike without stress, without overheating, just 2 days after being thrown from a horse. So I thought this little hike was 2 miles in, 2 miles out. We've done it before. It's one of our favorites. It's partially shaded. 4 miles total. Like this should be nothing, right? We had food with us. We had some granola bars and even like the Bar X bars. They're like, we are hikers, hear us roar type protein bars. We had everything. Um, as we're going in, we started a little bit later in the morning than we usually like to hike. And it was a little warm. My sweet little Aussie Shepherds are with us, and they're doing okay. They're drinking, having the occasional treat, but I'm watching them clearly struggling a little bit. So with every new hill, pile of rocks, I'm watching all 8 feet pause, climb, land, keep going. I'm watching to see if they're breathing regularly, panting too hard. My little human, she was awesome. And honestly, she's a natural. She's not one of those kids or people who complain the whole time about going, wanting to stop. My legs hurt. She's not that person. She's a trooper. I love her. But I kept watching her, making sure she's okay, fully sunscreen, making sure she was drinking her water. And we get to the part of why this particular hike is so fabulous is you get 2 miles in and there's waterfalls and it's gorgeous and it's cool and like it's a loud type waterfall. In fact, while we were there, we watched people go stand underneath it and jump right back out, going, "Okay, that's like getting hit in the head because it's like 3 levels of waterfall. It's gorgeous." But as we're standing there, kind of cooling down, my little one takes off her shoes and socks, walks through, gets good. My dog's into the lake, into the little creek bed there, and I'm like, I don't feel so good. Now I have a tendency to overheat. So I had a little bit, I had some of the munchies because I was a little dizzy, a little sick to my stomach. And again, this isn't particularly new for me. I have a tendency to overheat and get dehydrated. So those feelings weren't that unexpected. So I was ready for them and doing what I could to negate them, right? I think I'm taking care of everything and being under control. So we had just turned around. We'd spent some time, you know, really nice little visit down there by the waterfall, took some pictures. and we had just turned around to head back out of the canyon. And that first few minutes is like steep, like rocky. And about 5 minutes in, suddenly every single muscle in my back seized up, like just when I, like all of them. I couldn't move. This wasn't my typical being dizzy, being nauseated. It wasn't just out of breath or being tired. I was unable to move my body. This was new. So I managed to move kind of over to the side of the path. So there's people passing me, and I'm just standing there trying to get as much water as I can. Like at that point, I'm certain. I'm like, clearly this is dehydration. I have a tendency. I just need more water, and it'll be better. So I stand there waiting, drinking, breathing, really not moving. The good news is I'm not falling. I'm able to stand, but I'm not moving. So that takes about 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool, 5. I'm good. I can move my legs. Awesome. So I go ahead, think this is over. So I'm able to reach the top of that particular hill. The rocks are behind me. I think, hey, cool, I've got this. And then here it comes again. I can feel my muscles starting to seize up again. Like, what the actual crap is going on with my body? My spouse checks on me, checks my eyes. I can focus, asks me my name. Like, I know that part. It's good. He then checks my water pack. And he's like, Amber, you have not had nearly enough water. In over 2 miles, I had consumed less than a liter of water. Not maybe a huge concern unless you're in your 40s and it's 90 degrees and you tend to overheat. So I'm able to stumble, I don't know, another 20, 30 yards. We find a shady spot where we can actually pull off the trail a little bit, sit down, give the dogs a rest, and frankly, get as much of my clothing off as seems appropriate in that space because it's too much. And suddenly my spouse is in front of me and he's got the icy cold water from his pack down my back, down my front. I'm gasping for air, responding to that cold, trying not to hyperventilate. It was brisk. It was trying to focus. At this point, I can't even really feel normal. I'm just trying to feel okay. We spent a good 20 minutes. Like it was a break. It was like this is what we're doing. And started to feel more in control. Muscles started responding. And it took us probably twice as long to get out as it did to get in because we got going again. And another 20 minutes in, we found another little spot and we're like, okay, preventative, let's sit down. Let's get all doused again. My hat was soaking in the water. Um, it was not awesome and it was not productive. But after the two stops, the main big stops, the last hour was awesome. It was fun. My daughter kept going, you drinking your water? You drinking your water? I drank all 3 liters of my pack, swapped with my spouse, drank half of his. So really, I have such good memories of this hike and we have great pictures and it was a great time. But there's also this little bit of hanging over like, okay, can't really fix anything, but how do I not let this happen again? So I like, okay, first, like make sure I'm prepared physically and mentally. Sometimes little breaks are good. They're enough. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes you need more. And then I thought, wow, this is so like what happens with so many of my clients. They come to me, they're so busy taking care of other people, doing their job, taking care of all their clients and making sure everything is taken care of out there. They forget, they skip over the part where they make sure their persona is fully claimed and playing at an 11. They're so focused on here's my responsibilities, here's what I have to do. They skip the part where they're okay, where they're showing up 100%, their persona cranked to 11 and really making an impact, making the profit that is possible in their business. What story do you have in your life that's paralleled to what's going on in your business? How do you share that with your people? How do you not teaching moment, but how do you share it with your people so that it makes sense? Drop a little note below. Show me what's going on with your life that makes sense, where your stories in your life are paralleling what's going on with your business. Drop me a little note, say hey, share what's going on in your world. I can't wait to hear from you. So until I get to see you in person and give you a great big hug, stay safe, rock on.